What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and today we're back answering your questions in another episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, simply comment down below. Put question in front of your question, because we get those questions first.
Yep. And that is what FakinIt66 did. So he asks, does the Imperium have the technology to create more Geneseed? Or do they rely solely on extracting the Geneseed from fallen Space Marines? So Geneseed is, how do I put it? It's very, very, very valuable to Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. Basically, if you want the Imperium to keep on moving forward and having the best fighting force around, you need Geneseed. There's no way around it. That is why there is a whole, I guess, faction, a whole sector, a whole, I don't know, section.
I think it's Ordo, right?
Ordo, I think, of like apothecaries and like inquisitors that study Geneseed and all that stuff. So the main reason is that the apothecaries are there to extract the Geneseed from fallen Marines, because if they try creating it or tampering it with like scientific means or like Xenos technology, it's gonna consult a whole bunch of like mutations and just negative effects. So the best way is to extract it from Space Marines.
Yep, exactly. Super valuable and finite.
Right. I mean, yeah, Chaos can, tinker with it because they already have mutations and whatnot. But yeah, Geneseed is super valuable. I mean, Magnus even attacked the Space Wolves and like destroyed their Geneseed factories, or like
Just to mess with them, yeah.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Bartosz Tomawaski. How did the Astronomicon work before the Emperor sitting on the Golden Throne? Love your channel, guys. Thank you. So the Golden Throne was powered by the Emperor, but it was just through his psychic might.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody had to sit there. It wasn't until they modified it for it to be a what is it called? Life support system.
Right.
That like he actually sat there. The reason that he had to come away from the Great Crusade or stop doing stuff with the Space Marines and the Legions was because it was getting way too difficult to like power the Astronomicon away from, or so far away from Earth or Terra. Next question.
This one is by Parasity. What do you guys think about Malkador's revelation in the audiobook The First Lord of the Imperium, where he says that the heresy was engineered by the Emperor to call the Astartes and the Primarchs the same way that he did with the Thunder Warriors?
I mean, I think that I don't think he's saying that the Horus Heresy was that.
Right. He's saying the Horus Heresy was started because the Emperor wanted to get rid of the Space Marines, the Primarchs.
Okay.
So just like he used Space Marines to destroy the Thunder Warriors, now he's using Chaos and the Heresy to destroy them from the inside out.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I don't think that's what happened. I think that's just like propaganda that they used to have the traitor Primarchs, who are kind of like on the edge, stay traitor. They kind of brainwashed them into believing that was going to happen to them, because I think a part of the lore was that some of those traitor Primarchs realized that the Emperor did that to the Thunder Warriors.
Right.
So they were scared that was going to happen to the Primarchs.
Yeah, it's a very, how do I put it? Like, I don't see Malkador doing this, like, but at the same time, he was like the Emperor's right-hand man. So
yeah.
If that is, a thing, then I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like, but I mean, they were so, because like when the Horus Heresy happened, not all of space was conquered. Like all humanity wasn't conquered yet by the Imperium.
Right.
So I don't see why the Emperor would choose that point to begin the staging the Horus Heresy, so to speak. But I mean, I feel like they could have done so much more before trying to get rid of the Primarchs.
Right.
But then that's another question. Like, how would the Emperor actually do away with like Space Marines and stuff like that? Because like even with the billions and billions of like Imperial Guardsmen and Inquisition, like Space Marines are really tough. Like it's gonna take a lot to bring them down, especially if they're all united against the Imperium. Like that's just gonna hurt the Imperium more than anything.
Yeah. Next question comes from David Mead. Would you rather be a blank or a very powerful psyker? Be invisible to the horrors of the warp or have the ability to take them on? I think the chances of you actually being able to control your psychic abilities are very slim.
Right.
So I guess I would do the blank. Just, because it is kind of cool to be a blank.
Right. Just by existing, you're like already turning off psychic abilities. And then if you're a psyker, that's not a good life to live, because like you'll either be captured and experimented on, you'll be taken on black ships, sacrificed, or you could just have like a warp portal open up and have like demons come out of you, or you can get possessed by a demon.
Yeah, it's not either option is not good.
Right.
Even at blank, because in the Eisenhorn novel, there's an acolyte that's a blank, and when she finds out that she's a blank, she's like, oh, then it makes sense. My entire life I was like the people just weren't comfortable around me. People didn't feel okay when I was around, and nobody knew why. Now I know why. Because like, even if you're not psychically powerful, if you're a blank, you are kind of unnerving to other people.
Right. You give off like that sense of like dread or uneasiness.
Yeah. Even if they're not psychers. So it's a tough one, but I still say blank.
Yeah. I mean, the chances are minuscule that you might be taken by like a space marine and be able to control your powers and hone your energy and become like a really badass. But it's like too slim, so yeah, I'd have to be a blank too.
Next one.
Cartez Drake. Does Lorgar know that he actually won and that humanity now worships the Emperor? What would happen to the Emperor if Magnus... Oh, so it's two questions. So the other question is, what would happen to the Emperor if Magnus was sacrificed to the Golden Throne? So first one, does Lorgar know that he actually won? Like his actual ideologies came true?
I feel like he does. I think he sees like the goofiness of like, yeah, I used to believe that you were the God Emperor. Now I see you're a false Emperor though.
But still, now the Imperial truth is like, he's the God Emperor. Like,
right, but I think it's like kind of like he's kind of laughing at the fact that he used to believe something, and now the entire Imperium is believing something.
The irony.
Yeah, the irony. There you go. Mm-hmm.
Very ironic. But now the second question: if Magnus is sacrificed to the Golden Throne, what would happen to the Emperor? So you're saying if the Emperor never sat on the Golden Throne and instead it was Horus? Or Magnus?
Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying.
Probably the Emperor would have been dead then, like, because he wouldn't be able to use the Golden Throne as like the means of life support.
That's true. Yeah.
But then would Magnus be like a good guy and be doing it willingly, or would he be like chained and be forcefully being like a battery, essentially powering the Astronomicon unwillingly, but he can't do anything about it. This next question is by Raphael Steltler. Continuing on the theme of pariahs and blanks, he's asking, do pariahs and blanks have an afterlife?
That's a good question. I
would say, well,
because when you die, you become part of the Emperor's army of the light.
Right.
But that's in the war because it's the God Emperor, right? Mm-hmm. So, if you're a pariah, you don't register in the warp,
right?
So you probably can't come. Yeah, so you probably wouldn't be part of that.
So then, would it just like end there, or would there be like, is there like another afterlife thing?
I think it would just end there, kind of like the Tau. Like when the Tau die, they don't go anywhere, right?
Right.
The Tau just die and that's it.
I guess. I mean, because there is rumors that there is a Tau god forming, but I mean, rumors, theories. And last question. This one is also by FakeNet66. He asks, I'm aware that this would never happen in canon, but what if the Imperium, the Tau, and the Eldar joined forces? Could their combined might actually destroy or wipe out other Xenos, such as the Tyranids, the Necrons, or the forces of chaos outside of the warp?
So if the big three teamed up, I don't think so. What do you think?
No. I mean, as powerful as they are, the Eldar are a dying race, And to see the Dark Eldar actually help out, I don't see that happening. So even though Eldar are strong psychically, I feel like there's not enough of them to actually make a difference. With the Tau, they're a very young race, and the only way I can see them allying is if the Imperium and the Eldar agree to join the greater good, which they might just say yeah, just for now, but then obviously not do it. So if that's happening, like, the technology and the psychicness obviously is going to be a huge beneficial aspect to this force of like the big three, but I don't see them being able to take down an entire race of like Tyranids. Necrons by themselves could probably just wipe them out. Like,
yeah, even the orcs. Like, imagine trying to get rid of all the orcs.
I mean, they love that fight, but I mean, they'll win key like battles, but it'll just be a war of attrition that'll never end. Yeah,
and the only ones that could actually like survive is the Imperium, and that barely.
Yeah.
In terms of attrition, anyways.
Right, and that's just because the Imperium has so many bodies to throw out.
Yeah.
And then I doubt, Space Marines and humans and Eldar would work 100% together. There'll be traps. There'll be like suicide missions, and I'm pretty sure they'll send like the Tau to the front lines, knowing they suck in close combat.
Yeah. Just
to be like a distraction or something like that. So.
Yeah.
It is a grim, dark universe, so that probably will never happen. But yeah, those were the questions for today, guys. If you guys have more questions, please be sure to put question in front of your question, because we'll get to those questions first in the order that you guys put them down. So yeah, that's all we got. If you want more 40k action, hit us up on the Patreon page, on the Facebook page. Check out our other social medias.
And we have a giveaway going on right now. As of right now, we have, if you check out the 40 facts on the Krork or the Brain Boys, we have a giveaway for a orc starter set.
Mm-hmm.
So don't forget to check that out.
And of course, this is the Sound Alchemist.
Gershwan.
And we are out of here.
Oh, if you could put my